Thing I'll get in and then we'll check, see if callers have anything they would like to share. Just the Harriet Tubman, I mentioned this before, but I think it is important now just because I've heard it in the last, I guess, week or so since people have been talking about the general, Harriet Tubman. People reference, I guess, the piece of folklore and saying that she had her firearm and would tell enslaved black people, you know, hey, this is what it is. We're going to leave. These whites are going to be trying to kill us. This is serious. We get out here, you're going to have to, you know, follow directions. We got to do what we got to do to be safe. If they catch us, they could kill us, maim us, rape us, anything. Got to be safe. And if you act up or decide that you don't want to do it, get scared, decide you want to run back or anything, got my gun, I might have to use it on you. I've heard that in the last week since they've been talking about her being placed on the $20 bill. And I've heard that for years now. When people mention Harriet Tubman, I spoke with Mr. Fuller some years ago. I would encourage anybody, if you call Mr. Fuller or if you hear him on a podcast or what have you, Talktainment, wherever, and you get an opportunity, you should ask him to give you his view on this. Man. And he just brought it up casually. We were talking about something else and he just brought it up and said, I think that racists made that up. And I said, well, dang, why do you take that position, Mr. Fuller? Because I don't think at the time I heard anybody say this. And he said, okay, I'm just using logic. Follow the logic. He says, number one, what type of gun do you think Harriet Tubman had? Now, I've seen photographs where people, say this is Harriet Tubman, she's got her gun. We've had guests on the program who talked that they've been able to hold a gun. This is the 1800s. They had laws where if you were a black person, you couldn't even purchase a firearm. That's one. What type of firearm do you think she would have had, Nate? I mean, it's not like she would have had a Glock. It's not like she would have had a 9mm. I mean, 1800s firearm, not like she's going to have an efficient killing machine at the ready. And how many bullets exactly do you think she's going to have? Again, they didn't even sell firearms to black people. And they had laws against selling firearms to black people in many locales during the 1800s. So exactly how many bullets do you think she would have had? How well do you think this gun would have worked? How accurate do you think this gun would have been? And then she's quoted, Harriet Tubman, I could have freed many more slaves if they had known they were slaves. If you had a significant population of black people who were confused about their status or ambivalent, hesitant about leaving, to me, it just, again, following the logic, Mr. Fuller said, it just doesn't seem logical to me that this is going to be some sort of coercion and I'm grabbing somebody by the ear and pulling them off the plantation. That just does not seem logical with everything that General Tubman would have been facing. They've got a bounty on her. Whites are looking to kill her. I mean, slaves are expensive. You're stealing property that could be worth $1,000, $1,500 in $1,800. I mean, woo! This is major theft of racist property, stealing these black bodies, literally. This is serious business. We could all be killed, mutilated, raped, anything could happen. This cannot be something where you're just forcing people off at gunpoint and making them go. Then he also said, so okay, if she has a group of slaves that she's taking, trying to liberate them, it's 3, 4, 5 different black people. And one person says, hey, I'm scared, man. I hear the dogs. These white folks are crazy. I'm just going to go back and, hey, do my work and, I'm done with all this. If they decide that they're going to up and run, like, again, now how accurate do you think the shooting is going to be where she's going to be able to pick this person off? And again, they're under heavy duress. Unless I've been misinformed, firing a gun makes a lot of noise. That could draw attention to, hey, I heard a gunshot. What was that? Maybe. Just, inquire people to think that. I think that was his whole point, and kind of giving his view on saying that I think racists slipped that in. He also added that it tends to be a major part of white supremacy. There's always got to be a reason to beat, shoot, maim a black person. Just got to be. They won't do right. Niggas just, they're lazy, they're childlike, they're impudent, They need a good beating. You got to get them in line. You can hardly get anything useful out of them at all unless you give them, 9-20 hits with the lash. You just got to. I mean, that's standard racist logic. I even hear that from a lot of victims of racism, that that's what we need to do to get more black people focused and serious about solving this problem. They need a good whipping. We need to just get the lashes back out and go upside a couple of these folks' head and get them to think straight. But that seems to be a consistent bit of racist rhetoric that he thinks Mr. Fuller has just been fused into the lore of Harriet Tubman, that she was shooting or threatening to shoot black people to get them off of the plantation. I was reminded and made sure I said I wanted to share that again on the program because I've heard that more and glowingly. Generally, when I hear it, it's something of pride. Like, yeah, she had her gun and she was going to make them do right. And I'm just suspicious of anything that is sounding like a part of what needs to be done in solving this problem. He is further threatening black people, who are the most threatened, intimidated, terrorized people on the planet. I'm suspicious of anything that is sounding like we need to replicate that in order to solve the problem. Just something to think about. I think that was how Mr. Fuller ended his whole commentary on that he thinks racists have lied, have added that. He said he started hearing it recently. And when he said recently, he meant like within the last 20, 30 years or so that he started hearing that more prominently, and it just doesn't seem logical. That was the thing he said more frequently than anything. It just doesn't seem logical for the time period and everything that she would have been facing under those harrowing circumstances. It does not seem logical.